Good morning, friends. Today, I am very happy to discuss a few things about curriculum innovations in MBA. We are having one special feature called Business News Analysis. So, as you know, in MBA we have various subjects like managerial economics, statistics for management, production and operations management, financial markets, derivatives, all these things. But how these apply in the real life can be seen, can be easily understood with the help of what is happening in real life. So when you see in the real life, they won't come as separate problems, separate identifications. It will come as one situation. So what all we have to apply, whether it is statistics, whether it is financial markets, whether it is production operation management, all these things will be known only when we understand the business situations, follow the business news. So it is very important to watch channels like CNBC TV 18, ET Now. So I always tell students, if you continuously watch at least 1 hour for 1 year, a business channel like CNBC TV 18, and note down things and refer those concepts, then you will have more than an MBA degree in your knowledge. So in SV University, we used to have a classmate who used to carry Economic Times newspaper everywhere with him whenever he is traveling, whenever he is in a bus or canteen. And by the way, he used to be in the canteen most of the time. And his knowledge is far superior. Even his knowledge of IT trends is better than a computer science engineer. So that way, it is more enriching. So we wanted to make it a practice that students carry one business newspaper to the class, like Business Line, Economic Times, or Business Standard, and deliberate, ruminate, discuss about the headlines. Now, for example, I will try to see some of the examples in the yesterday's, that is 14th newspaper. And nowadays, we are having all the newspapers online. Some are there freely downloadable on PDF format. And we have apps, Economic Times app, Money Control app, even Stock Exchanges NSE app is there. When you integrate these information into your subject matter, it will be sort of, I have recently read one book by Nassim Nicholas Taleb that is called Anti-Fragile, and his other popular books are Black Swan and Fooled by Randomness. So in this Anti-Fragile, he says, you should always try to weaponize your skills. You should always try to sharpen them. Only then you can see the power of those raw skills you are possessing. So when these concepts are seen in the context of real world happenings, in the context of what is being done in economic policy, financial markets, RBI's central bank's actions, global happenings, then you will be weaponizing your knowledge. So why this? One important thing I often stress is, I request the students to always understand the financial markets, always understand what is happening in the stock market, because it gives you a panoramic view of, it forces you to understand the business, forces you to understand the economic developments, forces you to understand the global happenings, interconnections between various currencies, like what is happening to dollar, euro, yen, and also what is happening to the commodities, what are the interconnections between all these commodities, gold, silver. So that is the lens through which all your business subjects can be understood. So, suppose we have seen some of the news, how we can interrelate. So, in the newspaper, they give you the summary of one example, what has happened to this markets on yesterday. So, Sensex, Nifty futures, dollar, euro, Brent crude, gold. So this we can take into the classroom and discuss and ask the students to explain what are all these things. So that gives the curiosity for the students, or what we call it, they feel like a game, a gamification of business education. So when you take it as a game, I think more people will participate. They will show interest. So that's why we can give participation marks also. In IIMs, when I attended my FDP, they used to give a case study. When the case study is given, normally many people don't want to participate. They want to go to the back benches like that. But what happens here is, that's why they put class participation marks. This is what we call CP. Class participation, that means unless you ask some question, ask some relevant question, raise a doubt, add to the point, some participation is there, you won't get marks. So just for class participation itself, the people are forced to study. So in this example, suppose there is given a description of the markets or the summary of movements of the markets. So then they will be forced to know what is Sensex, what is Nifty. So these are all indexes. So what do you mean by index? Index gives you summary of the market's movement. And what is the constituents of this index? Nifty has a 50 stocks in that index. So instead of knowing about every stock in the National Stock Exchange, what is National Stock Exchange? What are the stock exchanges in our country? What is the purpose of the stock exchange? All these things can be discussed, deliberated, and bring the students into the discussion. So, and Nifty futures. So, what is the difference between Nifty and Nifty futures? Why there is a two quotations, and why there is a difference between 11,971? Nifty futures is 11,982. Why these two are different? There is around 11 points difference is there. What is it called? Why it is at a premium? When it will be at a discount? What is the impact of this? All these things. If the faculty is interested enough, he can drive all these things and get the interest of the students. And again, there is a dollar quotation is there, and euro. So what is the importance of dollar and euro to the financial markets movements? So when the dollar goes up, what happens to Indian markets? When the dollar goes down, what happens to Indian markets? Which sectors get benefited when dollar goes up? So when dollar goes up, all exporters will get benefited, like pharma and IT, because they will get more rupees for the dollar. and Brent crude. So what is this by Brent crude? What do you mean by Brent crude? So all these things, gold. So what is the gold movement? So all these things we can discuss. So what is how the gold trends are there recently, and where this gold and other precious metals are traded. Suppose we can bring into the context of MCX, that is multi-commodity exchange, where commodities are traded in India. So that type of discussion can be done, and we can ask the students to prepare a small one-page summary on this example. So this is one example I have taken up. And second example in the same business standard paper on 14th October. So it talks about INFI outshines rivals with Q2 numbers. What is this INFI? This INFI is Infosys. So why it is called INFI? That is one question you can pose to the students. Because it is a stock market symbol. The symbol on the NSE, and that's why they normally quote it as INFI. And what is this Q2 numbers? Q2 means quarter 2. So how many quarters are there in a year? 4 quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So Q2 is half yearly, Q4 coincides with the full year results. So we can see what they have mentioned here, and we can discuss about how they are saying, all the financial statements, the importance of the financial numbers. You can see here, they are talking about revenue, YOI change. So YOI change means year on year, QOQ change, so quarter on quarter. So revenue, net profit, operating margin. So these are all very crucial things to understand for any business student. Understanding a financial statements is one of the crucial skills, whether he wants to be a manager, whether he wants to be an analyst, whether he wants to be participate in various activities. So we can discuss this article. So here it is saying Infosys, India's second largest IT services company. So you can ask them, what are the comparative companies? What are the other companies in this IT sector, like Wipro, TCS, HCL Tech, Mindtree, so many things. So it is saying that so this exceeded street expectation. So all these things you can discuss. So what is meant by street expectation? Street expectation means always these numbers are forecasted by equity research analysts. So they have their own Excel sheets, depending upon the previous information, discussion with the companies, they will be projecting some numbers. So projecting these numbers, so these are all known to the Dalal Street. So Dalal Street is what the huge activities on our capital markets, like daily around 20 lakh crores of volume is being traded. And speaking of Dalal Street, last week I watched one serial on Sony Live, that is a series that is called Scam 1992. It's a very educational series. So I recommend all the students, all the people interested in financial markets or otherwise in the business also. It's a very gripping story of Arshad Mehta scam in 1992. So I could very well relate to that because we are used to study MBA, and we used to get influenced by the news, by their opinions, by the press, and we are swayed by those reforms of Manmohan Singh, Dr. Manmohan Singh and all. This we are in that era. So in fact I could not stop it till watching it till 2 o'clock in the night. So it is a 10 episode Scam 1992. very beautifully made, and also all the concepts are very much explained. What is behind this scam? Actually, it is not a stock market scam. They say it is a money market or bond market scam, where the funds are funneled from bond market into the stock market, and how various brokers and foreign institutions, all these things are involved. It is a very educational, entertaining, and gripping story of financial markets of 1990s. So these things we can see, and also say that in the article it talks about the company showed improvement across all financial parameters. So what basic important financial parameters, like how they are calculating revenue, net profit, profitabilities. These are all we talk in the class. So you can bring those same things into this article, means it will be more type of weaponizing your subject. And these are all the things how it has. That means these things will come into life, and we can even group them into groups and try to discuss various viewpoints. Some people may debate, some people may say some other company is good, this is not good, TCS is good, like our Sai Kiran is saying here. So that's why you can debate, discuss, bring out various points. And last example I would like to see is this, reading the editorial section of a business newspaper, also very important. So here we have taken, there is Tamal Bandyopadhyay of the very top commentator on the banking. So he written an editorial, 3 cheers for RBI's October policy. So what I am talking about is from the Business Standard, 14th October. So he is talking about, he has written an editorial, bond prices rallied. So what are these bond prices? What is the meaning of when bond prices rally? So when bond prices go up, that means interest rates go down. So the inverse relationship between bond price and interest rate. So this is all we talk about in our security analysis and portfolio management. Bank stocks rose. So why, if the bond prices rally, bank stocks go up? These are all, these things you can explore and discuss. Rupee appreciated. So what is the meaning of rupee appreciated? Rupee appreciation. And this is out RBI's October monetary policy. The monetary policy is announced on 14th. That is on 13th. So he is commenting on here. So monetary policy committee. So all these things you can discuss as a part of every economic policy subject or financial services subject. Indian Central Bank's rate setting body. So these are all rate these are all what are the rates the company is setting. The RBI is fixes the rates, like you have bank rate and other CRR, SLR, all these things are set by the central bank. Understand? So these things we can discuss, and various things he has written. No rate cut announced. And borrowing program. So this the government's fiscal policy and RBI's monetary policy are linked, and they coordinate with each other to stabilize the markets, to send a signal to the markets. All these things we can discuss. Okay. So what are the central bank's responses in these times of crisis? That is what we are calling as COVID-19 crisis. how the central bank is supporting the markets. Central bank is sending signals. So that is so always the central bank's aim is to smoothen out the fluctuations in the economy so that there is no drastic surprises, so that there is no what you call disruptions in the economic environment. So with these type of things we can take into the class and enliven our classroom, gamify our business concepts, and weaponize our various business knowledge gained through various subjects. So thank you very much. We'll come with some other concepts in the future. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.